Please don't grab my piercings. Please don't ruin my hair. Oh Lord. My zipper just got stuck in my hair. So why am I on the floor? Because I'm a piece of trash. I need to stop being self-degrading. So why am I on the floor? Because I'm lazy and I don't feel like setting up my camera right now to film, and I need to get a video out, so here we are. So if the lighting makes my makeup look weird, I'm not bad at makeup. It's just sometimes the lighting very much like brings out the green in my eyes, but very much messes up my makeup and my blending, so maybe I can fix it in editing. If I can't, I'm good at makeup. Please don't come for me, but I also only do my makeup like once a week because I'm a freaking busy college student. So maybe I am bad at makeup and I'm just in denial. Anyway, so let's start this video. I'm gonna say I did a bad thing and I regret the thing I did, except not really. So I'm already getting freaking hot in this thing. Sorry, I have a lot of energy because I haven't filmed in a while and like, I don't know, I have a lot of energy today and I can't explain why. Although I'm very happy and excited in this video, I have a depressing topic that I need to discuss first. So Chestnut, I always mix up everyone's name. Edward, my hermit crab, passed away. And he has been passed away for probably over 6 months now. It's been quite some time since he actually passed. I just didn't want to mention anything about it because I wanted to figure out the whole cohabiting situation with Chestnut before I created a video, because I didn't want to just make a video that said, hey, my hermit crab died. I wanted the video to have a little bit more to it because obviously hermit crabs are social creatures and I cannot just own one. I only had two, so with Edward dying, passing away, that means I need to fill that void for Chestnut, so that way Chestnut gets his proper socialization and does not become a depressed crab. I have no clue why Edward died. You can never really know for sure why a crab dies, hermit crabs, because they are wild caught and there are so many different variables that you just simply don't know. I don't know his age. I don't know if he would possibly had some kind of internal parasite thing going on. Obviously I can check physically. He did not have mites, so mites did not kill him. As far as my husbandry goes, it is possible that my husbandry led to his death. I had him for 2 years though, which is pretty good because most hermit crabs die within their first year of life because people don't care for them properly, and captivity is just simply so stressful on these creatures, but I like never handle them, so it's not a handling stress thing that killed him. When it comes to my husbandry for hermit crabs, I would definitely question myself, because the second that anything goes wrong with one of my animals, it's definitely like a I did something wrong kind of thing. But looking at Chestnut's health, he's in perfect health. He's grown so much since I got him, and he has absolutely no signs of deterioration. I just can't say that it was my husbandry. I always have their humidity. I struggle with humidity just a little bit, but I don't let it drop down really below that 70 mark. I pretty much have very good husbandry, I would say, although hermit crab husbandry can be slightly controversial. I think that I'm doing the best that I can. The thing that I think may have contributed to him is he died during a molt, I believe, because he was dug down in the substrate. I did not kill him from this molt. He had been in molt for way too long. Hermit crabs around his size probably would take at most like 2 months to molt. He was freaking down there for like 4 months, so I think he died while trying to go through a molt, because a molt is a very stressful process, so if the crab isn't healthy, they're simply not going to survive the molting process. So I believe that's what happened to Chestnut. I went to change out their substrate and I was like, you know, he's been in molt for a really long time. I think he might be dead. I can't just let him rot at the bottom of the tank. I have to take precautionary measures. I have to dig him up, basically. So I dug him up. He was not responsive. I kept him for a number of days because I looked, you know, what to do if you do dig up a hermit crab in the middle of their molt, and I let him sit, and he never reacted. He probably sat there for like 2 months, did not do anything. So he was clearly, very clearly dead, which it took me a long time to finally be like, okay, I gotta toss this boy, like he's dead, I can't do anything about it. So if I seem like kind of disconnected from it, it is because it happened so long ago and I did not have a huge super emotional attachment to him. I do care about him. I did love him, but he is gone now. So I think one thing that might have contributed to his death is, as I was talking with someone to try and find hermit crabs that I could rescue and bring in for Chestnut, they did recommend that I switch my substrate from 100% eco earth to either a mixture with sand or to purely sand. They said that the eco earth can become acidic because it's so packed onto itself, and it's very moist. So I think that may have had something to do, giving him a little bit more of a stressful time molting. So the crabs are switched on to play sand right now, or not play sand, they're switched on to all-purpose sand. And Chestnut has already molted in it, has had a completely fine time. So I'm hoping that if that was the problem, that we are good now and solved. And rest in peace, Edward. As you know, if you've watched any of my previous videos, I don't really talk about my hermit crabs all that much right now because there's a lot going on, and Atticus is kind of my main focus at this point because he's a very new rescue to me and there's a lot of stuff to learn with him. My hermit crab, Edward, was a rescue. My brother and one of his friends got him from a beach area because they're very commonly sold at beach areas. But they decided they didn't want him, and they were caring for him utterly, completely wrong, because the beach people hand them to you in a critter keeper with gravel and just a little bowl of dechlorinated water and say, have fun. So I rescued Edward, and because they are social creatures, I very quickly went out to get Chestnut, who came from Petco, because I didn't know anything about rescues and such. Chestnut is still alive. Chestnut is doing fantabulous. He is absolutely huge, and I need to get him new bigger shells because he is a big old boy right now. So now let's get into I regret the thing I did, and I did a bad thing. So unfortunately I became a hypocrite. I'm just gonna say it. I always preached, if you want to get a hermit crab, please find one that needs a home. Please rescue a hermit crab. And I went against my teaching. I have to be completely honest and upfront about it, because it is something that happened, and I'm getting so freaking hot in this thing, but I really like it, and it's really cute. I don't know if I want to take it off. I'm gonna have to take it off because I'm freaking sweating. Please hold while I accidentally wipe off my makeup off of my face. Crab, go out, find one that needs a home. And listen, I have to say, I think I did my best. Hopefully I did my best to find a hermit crab in need. I literally spent months and months trying to find a hermit crab through Craigslist, Facebook Marketplace, even Angie's List. I don't know if anyone knows what that is. I hardly understand what it is, but I think it's for services, and I did not realize that. So scratch Angie's List. Let's pretend that didn't happen. But basically, I try to look on all these different places and try to find hermit crabs that needed help. However, I was completely unsuccessful, could not find anything for months and months and months. And I even went on vacation to my grandparents. I was checking in their areas, checking on areas that we were driving through, trying to freaking find anyone who had a hermit crab that they didn't want anymore. All I found were empty hermit crab cages, which means all the crabs that I could have saved were already dead. So that is really sad. No matter where you go, if you look on Craigslist, you will see a bunch of empty hermit crab cages that are just critter keepers that they say are hermit crab cages. And it's kind of sad to see how many crabs met their demise from just sitting in a critter keeper their entire life. Anyway, I could not find any rescue hermit crabs. I did become acquainted with hermit crab rescue group. Many of the rescue groups are no longer in operation. Most of them are pretty old, but I found one that was still active, and I was speaking with the lady, but our responses were just so off times. She was very busy. I'm a full-time college student and part-time worker, and our communications were very maybe we communicate once this month and 3 times the next month, and then none at all the next month. And time is running. There's a clock ticking here because Chestnut can become depressed from being alone. And so even at the end of all this adoption information, oh, what substrate are your crabs on, how big are the pools that they have, what size is your tank, how is your crab, once you get all through that, you're not even guaranteed a crab. I have had to drive 3 hours away or something, which is, I would love to be able to do that, but it's kind of unrealistic for my lifestyle right now because I am a full-time college student. I had to do something that really, really broke my heart, but rather than going through the adoption agency, which I would like to do in the future, I think that is definitely the end goal, just not when I'm on such a tight restriction for time. I would like to really go through them. but I had to go and buy hermit crabs from a pet store. Now, in my going to the pet store, I wanted to at least do the minimal amount of damage as freaking possible. And I did not feel comfortable buying hermit crabs from people who would ship them, because to me, hermit crabs, like I said earlier, are creatures that get very stressed out very easily. And I saw some people saying, yeah, we can ship hermit crabs, but I'm just like, I don't feel very good about that. So rather than going to a retailer who's probably like more into hermit crabs, knows more about them and is experienced with them and shipping them and stuff, I didn't want to put the crab through that kind of stress. Plus that's another delay, taking however long to process all that, making sure my weather's right to ship the animal. So I went to a local pet store. I say local, but I did a little bit of research, like I said, to minimize my amount of damage, and I decided that I would go with Pet Supplies Plus. I don't know how much anyone else in America knows about these things. We only recently got one in by me, so I'm not very sure how well known they are. But looking at their care guide, they had the least amount of misinformation. They actually seem to genuinely care on their care guide, so much so that they even said that they need UVB lighting, which is very interesting. I've never heard that before, speaking that most nocturnal animals don't need UVB lighting, so that's something I'm interested in. But anyway, the only discrepancy that I have with them is that they did only recommend like 3 inches of substrate, but they did specify, I believe, just enough for your crab to bury themselves. However, I highly, highly recommend that even if your crab can do 3 inches of substrate and completely bury themselves, to do at least 6 inches of substrate more if you have a larger crab, because it helps protect the crab while he is molting from his friends who might smell his molt and be like, oh, that's food, not my friend. So you don't want any cannibalism. You're cohabiting animals. You have to take extra precaution with that. So I do recommend 6 inches of substrate. That's the only discrepancy I have with them. And when I went into the store, of course, they're not even keeping them on 3 inches of substrate like they recommend. They're only keeping them on like barely 2, but that's because they're display animals. They need them to be visible to sell them. They can't have the crabs and molt all the time. What I will say though is with the 2 crabs that I did end up purchasing, they have not molted at all for me. So maybe they actually had successful molts in such shallow substrate. I don't know. But that is a difference, because when I got Edward and Chestnut, the first thing they did was molt. But anyway, so I'm not going to take the crabs out physically because, like I say, that stresses them out. Now that they're in their tank, they're only going to get pastured if I need to film something with them, or if I need to take them out for maintenance or whatever. So our first boy is Almond. Almond has been completely through quarantine. He did absolutely wonderful. Very active little boy. He, as you can see, he freaking just like manhandled Chestnut when he first met him, but Chestnut is still the dominant crab of the tank, I do believe. Little Almond's just hanging out. Then our next crab is Cashew. So Cashew is a little guy. He also went through quarantine completely fine. He was a little bit less active than Almond was when Almond was in quarantine. But he did switch shells a couple of times in quarantine, which was a good sign of activity. He dug himself like 1 or 2 holes, not for molting, but he just dug them randomly. So he did still show a good level of activity. I think he started slowing down because he was kind of upset that he didn't have other crabs in quarantine with him. I quarantined them at 2 different times because I got them at 2 different times. Because when I went initially, I knew I wanted at least 2 crabs. They only had 1 crab, then I went back and I got Cashew later, so they went through quarantine at separate times. They both went through quarantine completely fine, no mites, no problems. They are now both have met Chestnut. I'm probably gonna go ahead and cue the footage of me laughing like a crazy person while Chestnut and Cashew meet for the first time, because Chestnut's a freaking bully because he is dominant crab and he is significantly larger than the other 2, but they were the biggest pet store crabs I could find to match his size. He has just grown tremendously. Actually, first let me insert picture or video here. That's not a snap. Picture or video here where he's the itty bitty boy. And now here he is now. So roll the footage of him and Cashew having a little discrepancy. Change shells on top of him. That is so freaking rude. Meanwhile, Almond's minding his own business. You can barely even see him. He wants nothing to do with this drama. So, yeah, that's it. All the crabs have met now. I didn't see almond and cashew meet, but I'm sure they've met, and I don't know, they don't seem like anything bad is happening. They all are getting along very well. So, yes, I am upset that I had to buy them from the pet store. It's actually a very stressful process on me. I felt like another piece of trash going in and being like, hey, can I have hermit crabs? I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like one of those people who doesn't know what they're doing, and all the pet store employees, the few that do know what they're doing, are probably like trying to like drop hints like, oh, what, like, you know, like they're wild caught, and I'm just like, I'm sorry. I need these crabs. This is not an option. I have 2 new hermit crabs, so my number of pets has now shot up to 7. Woo! That's it for this video. Sorry if it was kind of long. It was a lot to explain. I know the part that everyone cares about is actually seeing the hermit crabs, so I hope I had enough actual like hermit crab action for you guys in there. But yes, I am a full-time college student, so things are crazier than I expected. College is actually harder than high school, which is, wow, shocker. So I am kind of very busy. I literally work every day next week except for one, and then I'm in college 5 of those days. Yeah, 5, no, 4. 4 of those days next week. So I just have a lot on my plate because I also have homework and such. But I am still going to try to push out as many videos as I can to you guys. Just don't expect them regularly at all. They're just going to be super irregular. And I think that's all I have to say. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like. Don't forget to check out my Instagram, where I post pictures and videos of all of my pets. If you want to learn more about them, just see more content of them and their cute little fuzzy faces or cute little scaly faces, feel free to do that. And I will see you guys in the next video.